Okay, this is my third time recording this. First time I screwed up and I started over as I stumbled, and the second time my microphone wasn't turned on. So, this is fun. Alright. I've actually been putting this off for about a week or so, this video, or recording my narration. I'm a procrastinator when it comes to this stuff because I hate hearing the sound of my voice, I hate recording stuff. I'm doing this sort of off the cuff, and I don't have any notes to follow, so it's mostly just whatever comes to mind, which is probably not a really good idea. Oh well. Anyway. So, after completing Horizon, you'll start having loyalty missions begin to unlock. You start out with Jake and Miranda having loyalty missions, and you talk to them, and it'll unlock them. And then usually you'll have, after each mission, another squad mate will ask you about to do something for them. That'll be unlocking a loyalty mission for each one. So that's basically the second part of this game, second act of this game, when you start getting loyalty missions. And of course, Lucy Man will ask you to recruit through more people: Tali, Samara, and Thane. So one of the first things you should do after speaking to people normally is head to Ilium. Ilium, like the Citadel and Omega. You know, there's a bunch of stuff you can run around there, stores, some small little side missions you can do for some XP. One of the first things you should do on Ilium as an adept is go to this kiosk here. And after talking to Sari and giving her Charm or Intimidate to get the discount, is get the biotic damage upgrade. Very important. Next, of course, is going up to the Barrier Frontiers store and buying the star charts there. Now, star charts are important because they unlock a couple more planets to visit. There's a couple of secondary missions. You can avoid secondary missions for the most part. I recommend, however, buying them there just because they don't cost a whole lot. But most importantly, there's a couple of missions there. There's actually have upgrades. Specifically, the one I liked most is on the Pylos Nebula. There's an anomalous weather mission. It sucks to play. I absolutely hate playing it. But at the very end, as a reward, they give you a damage protection upgrade. That should be your third damage protection upgrade by this point in the game. You got one at the store early in the game, and you get one on Jack's loyalty mission. Getting two of those will unlock the redundant field generator, which means that when your shields go down, sometimes they come back up. Getting 3 will unlock the hard shield upgrades, which means your shields take 20% less damage. Those two special upgrades combined means you're a lot more survivable, but you can stay out of coverage still a bit longer before your shields go down sometimes, so that's really, really good to have. With the biotic damage, that should be your third biotic damage upgrade. You getting one on Horizon. If you have the Firewalker missions, that would be your 2, which of course getting 2 unlocks your biotic duration, which is really good for the Adept. And long 3, getting your third on that store will unlock the biotic cooldown. If you don't have the Firewalker missions, they only have 2. You'll have to get a third one somewhere else. There's one on Jack's loyalty mission. There's one on when you recruit Samara. There's one on her mission, recruitment mission. I forget where the other ones are offhand. I think there's possibly one on Tuchanka. Anyway, doesn't really matter. You should have Firewalker missions. They came free with the Cerberus, the Cerberus network. I think if you have the trilogy, I think you have those by default. So, otherwise you have to sort of purchase them, or at least download them through the Cerberus network. I think the Cerberus network's purchasable separately, unless you bought the game new a while back. But if you purchased the game a while back, then you probably don't need this video narration. Anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, so post-Horizon, the next sort of forced story mission that would be you're forced to go on is a disabled collector ship. After that, you may know it if you already played through the game. That unlocks when you have 8 squad mates, and you complete 5 missions. 5 missions being recruitment missions, loyalty missions, and any sort of N7 secondary missions. Basically anything with a mission complete screen. So anything on Ilium or Omega or the Citadel that doesn't give you a mission complete screen, that doesn't count towards your 5 missions. So totally recommend um, as an adept that basically you go to the Pilot's Nebula after getting the star charts, go to the Anomalous Elevator, get your damage protection upgrade, then that'll be your first of your next 5 missions. You can do any 5 missions. As the adept, what I usually do is I go Pilot's Nebula, get that mission out of the way. Usually then go back and get Thane. For a lot of classes, I don't typically... I try to do as few or as quick missions as possible. They don't have a lot of combat. And almost whatever I always go to. I'll do one on Shrike or Biznal where you can get a heavy weapon ammo upgrade. You do that one. And I usually have some Firewalker missions left because I only do like 3. The 3 I need, and there's usually then I have 2 or 3 other Firewalker missions left. I do those, and that way then I can continue on. Now, the Adept, though, I like to recruit Thane. Mostly because that gives me a second warp bomb in the squad, so I can have him and Miranda with me. You don't have to. You can use whoever, but I think Thane's really good because the same collector ship, there's collectors. So if you're kind of person who likes stripping barriers with powers like Reeve or Warp, then I'll give you Miranda and Thane to help strip protections for you. Not that you really need it. I just use them for warp bombing when I pull squad mates pull enemies. So that's really good. You also get the Viper in that mission. Not really a good weapon for squad mates, but it's good if you plan to take sniper rifles as your bonus weapon. I'll talk about bonus weapons in another video. Viper's also good if you're like an infiltrator or a soldier, but let's not get into that here. This is about the Adept. Yeah, so basically I go Pilot's Nebula, then I get Thane as an Adept, and that gives me 3 more missions to play with. Sometimes I'll recruit Tally next, just because on her mission I can get the Tempest, which is my favorite SMG. If you have the Locust, chances are you don't need it, or if you really like the Shuriken, you don't need the Tempest. I like the Shuriken. I like the Locust. The Tempest happens to be my favorite SMG, so I like getting that fairly quickly in the game. But I don't know. I don't always complete Tally's mission, but I like doing that. You can also get a pistol damage upgrade, which will, at that point, you should have got one on the Citadel, and then that'll give you your second pistol damage upgrade. That way, it gives you getting 2 pistol damage upgrades will give you your AP pistol damage upgrade, which means your pistol will then do more damage to armor. Like instead of doing 50% more damage, it'll do 100% damage. So that's really good to have. You can get pistol damage upgrades elsewhere. You can get one on Tuchanka to store, I believe. However, you have to get a discount. You have to play a loyalty mission first, which is grunts, and I kind of hate doing that mission. It's all armor, so I'd rather have the pistol upgrade first. Otherwise, you have to pay full price for it. Not that it matters. I think you get a 25% discount in the store, but I don't know. I usually don't like getting that right away. Depending on who you want to recruit or do loyalty missions, depends on how soon you want to get your bonus weapon. Mostly because when you're talking about bonus weapons, it's like the sooner you get them, the more missions you can take it on. So whereas if you decide to play around, you don't get 8 squad mates right away. Like if you don't have Kasumi or Zaid, like right now I don't have Kasumi or Zaid just because I wanted to leave them out just so I can fiddle around maybe a bit if I want to, around with my missions. That way, excuse me. That way you can also take it on their loyalty missions, things like that. So yeah, so basically, if you get your bonus weapon early, then you can take it on more missions. Like I think someone calculated, like if you do like 5 missions right away, like say if you leave the Firewalker missions to the 5 Firewalker missions, or 3 or 4, whatever, until after, then you can basically play most of the game with a bonus weapon, like 80%. I think someone calculated the game, something like that. But so that's kind of cool. That's why I like usually getting my bonus weapon right away. But as an adept, I tend to just use pistol SMG most of the time, so my bonus weapon I find doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Although it can, depending what weapons you take. But I'll talk about that later. Another video about bonus weapons. Another thing I should point out is on Ilium, when you talk to Liara for the first time, I recommend you immediately ask her about Samara and Thane. That will unlock their recruitment missions. That's kind of important because if you have Lyra the Shadow Broker DLC, you can talk to Liara and give her information about the Shadow Broker. If you do that, if you give her the information of the Shadow Broker first, she leaves her office. In that case, there's a terminal office that is supposed to unlock Samara and Thane's recruitment mission. However, it's busted, and I think it only unlocks Thane's, and where Samara, so you actually won't unlock Samara's recruitment mission. And the only way you can get out and do it is if you're on Xbox or PC. I think you can then mod your game to do it. I don't think you can mod PS3 saves, so it's kind of a bad thing. So I'm going to talk to her first. Plus, she has a couple side missions that will give you some like a few amount of credits and some XP, which I think is good to have. So I recommend doing that. So yeah, basically, when you first talk to Liara and Ilium, ask her about Samara and Thane. Then you can do some of her missions, and then you can give her the information later. Yeah, so that's about it. So again, after Horizon, you need 8 squad mates, and then 5 mission complete screens, like 5 complete missions, and then that will unlock the disabled collector ship. So between then and there, you can do any 5 weapons. Like say you can do the 5 Firewalker missions. Then I like to say I go to the Pilot's Nebula, do the Anomalous Lever, get the damage protection upgrade. I usually do this one here, the Striker Bizzle, and the Striker Bizzle, so I can get my weapons, heavy weapon ammo upgrades. That way I can get the cane, so I don't always have it at this point. And then Firewalker missions, or use some other N7 missions, but yeah, that's it. That's what I do. That's the plan. So that's it for this video.